Welcome to the Charlotte 49ers Spring Sports Special. Ryan Rose with you. We are talking spring sports here for the Charlotte 49ers in the 2010 season. It's time to get out of the arena and out onto the playing fields. We're going to start with baseball this segment. We've got head coach Lauren Hibbs. We've got a couple of seniors, Kelly McLean on the far end, Mike Perkins to his right, a couple guys that have been here for the time period that we want to talk about, and that's what I want to start with, Coach. Since 2006, you guys have the 9th best win percentage in the country. You're also one of the teams in the top 10 in academic progress rate. How do you balance all that? You're only one of 2 teams that can say that in the nation, by the way, in the top 10 in percentage and the top 10 in APR. How do you do that? How do you get all these guys to keep going to class while doing all the kinds of travel that you have to do and then winning ball games on top of that?
It's difficult, but we've got a great support staff, with our academic people and the emphasis that we put on it as a coaching staff. And these guys, they're the ones that have to do the work. These guys epitomize what we try to accomplish as a program. They're not the most physically gifted guys, but they've both performed at a high level. Mike's from New York, Kelly's from around here in the Charlotte area. And they grind it out. And that's kind of what our program has become, guys that just grind it out, work hard every day, get up and go to class, do their work in the weight room, do their work in the classroom, study hall. And again, these 2 guys kind of exemplify what we're trying to get accomplished.
What's different now that you've been in the A-10 for a few years? What's different about being in this conference versus some of the others? And talk a little bit about the Atlantic 10 Conference. Some of these schools have started to figure out what it's going to take to be a better program, and that's, I think, because Charlotte has become a model for them, and some of these schools are really starting to go out and get better.
The goal's simple, and these guys will tell you, the first thing we try to do is win the regular season championship. Second thing we try to do is win the conference tournament championship. We really don't spend a whole lot of time worrying about other people in the league. Mm-hmm. We try to take care of our business, try to play at as high a level as we can. We need to play with a little bit more urgency, I think, in league play this year than we did last year. We were banged up so much early in the season, got off to a horrific start in league play, but I'm really proud of our guys the way we bounced back the last 4, 5, 6 weeks. But we try to win every single game that we play. Our guys understand the mentality, and for us, we feel like that if we get our work done and we do the things that we need to do, we're going to be right there at the top at the end of the season.
Mike, 4 years with the program from Skinny Atlas, New York. You are one of the guys that aren't from North Carolina. There's a core group of guys that are, but there are a lot of guys on this team from all parts of the country. Talk a little about what kinds of things attracted you to Charlotte and meshing with a bunch of different guys as you all sort of come together as a team for a common goal.
Well, I got recruited by mostly schools up in the Northeast. Charlotte was definitely the biggest and best at baseball out of all the schools I got recruited by. But I really liked the coaching staff as I got to talk to him, Coach Hibbs and our former Coach Durkak. He was the guy who recruited me out from New York. So just seemed like a really good program. They were about the academics, and that was important to me when I was getting recruited. And it's great to come down from New York State and be able to play in February. I really like that idea coming down to North Carolina. So, but since I've been down here, I really people don't see me, as like a Yankee like you would think. I feel like everyone's really accepted me, and I just feel like everybody's really getting along well. Regardless of where you're from.
This South kind of rubs off on you. I know that's kind of the fun thing about the baseball thing is we do have guys from all over the place and working towards the common goals. And I guess, Kelly, this is more of a question for you as being a North Carolina guy. When these guys all come in, it's like, we have this one goal. We all wear the jersey that says Niners on it, and we all are working towards winning ball games. And that sort of brings guys together, wouldn't you say? Plus, I guess with the travel, too, you kind of get a pack mentality. It's us versus them, and you really get to know guys a little better.
Oh, yeah. We give the northern guys a little hard time about their accent, but I have a southern accent, so they dish it right back. So...
But we do have a core of guys from North Carolina, and Coach, when you talk recruiting, there's a country full of players out there, and then there are some guys from other countries, obviously, but you have that core group of guys from North Carolina. Talk about how important it is to make sure that you recruit the home state and also broaden your horizons as far as bringing in talent from other places.
Well, that's something that we talk about every day. Brandon Hall does a great job, with our staff as associate head coach with the recruiting and dealing with the mentality of pitchers, and Kelly can tell you a little bit more about that. I don't I'm just, with the pitchers, I try to stay as far away from them as possible sometimes, but I love all of them. But and Perkins deals with them some from a catching standpoint. Charlotte's a big deal for us. Basketball game against Temple the other night, we had 7 or 8 kids from this area on campus. We've got guys coming to practice again today. Brandon does a great job with that. And then we just spread out. We spread out. We got a chance to see Mike in the summer, when he was in high school. Kelly actually walked on here. It's a guy we heard a lot about in Legion ball, had a tremendous high school career and Legion career. And both these guys developed into outstanding players for us. But it starts right here in the Carolinas. It starts right here in Charlotte. And then we just branch out wherever we feel like we need to go to fill the needs that we have on our roster at that specific time.
Mike, we just touched on it briefly last year. Well, just going back to 2007, you caught, you DH, you pinch hit, you play the outfield, and then last year you played a little second base. That's something that I think people don't realize is when you have a squad of 30-some guys are going to have to move around. But that's something you guys work on in the fall. Talk about the preparation that goes into a season by having to move around and play different spots, learning all the different pitchers while you're a catcher. It seems that versatility is a real important thing on this team.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of work, but we have a lot of guys that can play different positions and that can pitch to. Corey Tilton is a pitcher and outfielder, and someone like Ryan Rivers is, obviously really good at both ways. And we just really try to work on, having a full day of practice and, getting into each position. I've been doing, 2 or 3 D groups every single day, working out at different places. But it's just that preparation and being worked out at different spots throughout the year because you don't know when you're gonna be used. So.
Speaking of not knowing when you're going to be used, Kelly, a lot of times you never know at what point of the game you may come in. And then one time you actually go step in the batter's box in the St. Bonaventure series at the end of last year. Talk about versatility. There's a lot of different ways as a reliever that you may be called on. You even had to make a start later in the season as well. Talk about the ability to just be ready when you're called upon, because a lot of guys are in that spot.
Yeah, I like being in the bullpen. You never know when you're going to get to play. You always go in at tight situations. I like all the adrenaline you get when you get out there. Then hitting, that's the first time I've seen live pitching in 4 years. So that didn't go so well.
Well, I think you were instructed to take some, though.
Yeah, then Coach Hibbs tells me in the on-deck circle, he said, take till you get 2 strikes. I was like,
but then you took again with 2 strikes.
I know, but he was throwing me curveballs, change-ups. I saw one fastball the whole at bat.
Not fair, is it?
Kind of a spot to be put in. Coach, let's talk about the schedule this year. Since I've been around, this is my 4th season. This is easily the toughest schedule you've got in front of you. But the advantage is a lot of those tough teams are at home. Now, you've gone out and beaten a top 5 team on the road each of the last 2 seasons, at South Carolina in 2008, at North Carolina last year. This year, you've got a really good home schedule and a lot of games, particularly early in the season.
We like to play the best people. I mean, we relish the opportunity to compete against the upper echelon teams in the country. Our guys will tell you that. We try to put ourselves and put our players in an environment that's conducive to us playing well come May and June. So Clemson's coming in here. They haven't been in here since 1988. Dayton, the defending conference champions, coming in here. North Carolina, Wake Forest, Winthrop, UNC Asheville, Western Carolina, Marist, who was in the regionals last year. We can go on and on and on, but it's a tremendous schedule, and these guys have worked extremely hard, and we need people to come out and support us.
Like the challenge.
Yes.
That's kind of the theme around here, and that's really what you guys are out for. Really appreciate you guys coming off the field and stepping inside for a minute. I know the fans enjoy getting a chance to meet you guys and come out and watch you guys play. We hope to see the stadium packed this year. Good luck. Best of health to you two. Best of sanity to you,
Best
sir.
of health to me.
As we travel around the country playing baseball this season. Big home schedule on the slate. All you got to do is check out the website, www.charlotte49ers.com. If you can't make it out to a game, and we really encourage you to come out, but if you can't make it out, we'll have live stats and video all season long of our guys. That's it for the baseball portion of our spring sports special. We'll have another sport coming up on the other side of this timeout. Thank you, Coach Hibbs, Mike Perkins, Kelly McLean. We'll check these guys out on the field. We'll see you down at Robert and Miriam Hayes Stadium this season. I'm Ryan Rose. We'll be back in a second.